This is what I'm trying to say. Let me get it out clearly. If you see, if you take the list of traits that men say they find attractive in women on average, and you find a woman that is lacking several of those traits, her having $1 million doesn't make up for that. Not to say she can't get laid, not to say somebody won't use her or whatever. But you see a man that's like, women say they want you to be tall, handsome, fit, charming, all these other things, and you could be missing like 5 of those, but you own your own business that's successful, and it's like that makes you more attractive. Okay, all right.
The charges drop against mother and son in deadly West Pullman shooting. Video shows man punching woman. Alrighty.
Now here's the thing. Technically, did they still break the law? Sure. But is this justice? Yes, I think so. Right? I mean, that's the whole point of justice. No?
Which is justice? Justice that this guy got shot, or?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That he did in the ground. I mean, listen, I'm never like excited at the loss of life, because he didn't kill anybody. But I mean, he punched the fuck out this boy's mother in front of him, and she was like, "Get the strap," And he's a little kid. He don't know nothing. You know what I mean? You can't unleash the emotions of a 14-year-old boy and then rein him in.
During the argument, Hood began texting her. So the 14-year-old was not in the restaurant. The 14-year-old was outside, waiting in the car.
Yeah. And the guy, so if you could play the video, the guy's basically telling her, like, if you say one more thing, I'm gonna punch you in the face. And she says another thing, and he did. He was a man of his word. He punched her like real hard.
He was a big dude.
Yeah, I'm like, first of all, it's like, right,
okay,
right.
Yeah,
see, it's different when you see it when you hear it described. You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, see, the problem here is twofold. One, she never put her hands on him. Because I'm not one of those never put your hands on a woman people. I'm not one of those people. Because if you're experiencing violence or you feel like a threat, you had a right to defend yourself against whoever. That's how I feel. But she didn't put her hands on him. That's one. Two, he punched her like a man, right? Three, she's an old lady. She's like older than him. It's like you got no respect. I mean, that dude got no respect for nobody. If you will punch a woman that's your mama's age or punch a woman that's like her that much age, that's crazy as fuck to me. Like, he punched her like he was in a UFC fight. You know what I mean?
All right, let's watch this video. All
right.
Because I had not seen this until today, until just now. So let's.
And he worked there, right?
Get your food. Who? Get the gun. Hey. Get your food. Get your food. If you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh my God, I said one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out.
That didn't play smoothly on this end. Did it play smoothly over there?
Yeah, it played smoothly over here.
Okay.
So we can.
So
it'll show up in the episode.
So it's like he wasn't defending himself. He wasn't, he wasn't defending himself. She's a woman, and she's an older woman. And I'm just sorry. Look, you ain't gonna punch my mama like that in front of me. I'm sorry. You deserve whatever the fuck the consequences of that are. Now, technically, was it illegal for the son to follow him after he was running away and shoot him again? Sure. But what is justice?
She also said shoot the guy who was laughing.
Oh, did she say that?
At the very end, she's like, shoot it, and he didn't. He got back in the car.
Oh, well, looks like the boy got some restraint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, because this sparks a larger discussion, to me. And it's, fortunately, the charges were dropped. I mean, if anyone was guilty of anything, it's the mother and the man that punched her. You know what I mean? I don't think the little boy, what the fuck is he supposed to do? You sitting there with a pistol, somebody done punched the fuck out your mama. It's on camera. You supposed to let it slide? You can't do that. Now why is the mom telling you to shoot him, shoot the witness? That's crazy. See, there's a lot of young men sitting in prison, right? Because they did violence, they fought somebody else's fight. They fought some woman's fight. Now, usually 99 times out of 10, it's unjustified. It's like you got in an argument, you said some shit, you threatened somebody with another motherfucker's violence. Like the lady, remember the lady did we talk about her last week with the ex-NFL player where she called her brother and said she was getting beat on. Now her brother's sitting in prison. You know what I mean? And it was all a lie. My point is just like, you gotta know who you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, who's to say what's right and what's wrong? This feels like justice to me that they didn't go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the other thing. I don't know what happened before that, right? But my hope is that the mom isn't one of these people that go around starting shit and then call her son. You know what I'm saying? Because some people do that.
They fighting about beforehand.
Who knows? But my point is, that's exactly my point. My point is that there are some women out here that see the men in their life as disposable shields, to settle settle the shit that they start. Because that could have been her son's whole life. You know what I mean? One way or the other. It's like, why are you starting shit with people? I don't know. I don't know if she started it or not. You know what I mean? But my point is, there are women like that. I hope she ain't one of them. You got your son in the car with the pistol. That's crazy too. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. Okay, so I'm reading this other article that's doing like the blow by blow of what happened. So I was wrong. The teenager did see this guy punch his mom because he was waiting outside. She texted him. He came into the restaurant or was in the door of the restaurant or whatever just before the guy punched his mom. Then he shot the guy in the back when he was in the restaurant. The guy ran out of the restaurant to get away, and the kid was like still shooting at him. It's unclear which bullets hit him, whether at least one of them hit him in the restaurant. It might have been both of them, but the guy was hit in the back twice.
And he died.
Died from those injuries later.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, both the thing is, it should never even come to that. You know what I mean? Listen, look, you got to learn to de-escalate, man.
Yeah.
You don't know who you talking to, who you dealing with, what type of shit they on. It's like,
imagine if you were just somebody walking down the sidewalk though, and you caught a bullet from this kid who's like firing after this guy who's already been shot twice.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen. That's very unlikely. I can't say that, but you shotguns. Like if you have with a pistol. I mean, it depends on how far away he was. Like with a pistol within about 10 feet, it's like you're not. I mean, the likelihood of you missing is real low. I mean, unless you're just terrible, I
don't know. 14-year-old kid, adrenaline, confusion over the situation. I don't know. Maybe this kid is a all-state marksman. I don't know.
Yeah, but you don't have to. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to be a marksman. I mean, look, I would say definitely within 5 feet, you're gonna be 100% accurate. I mean, most people, because I used to, I worked on the range at the Marine Corps, the pistol range the rifle range and the pistol range both. And with the pistols, it was like, I mean, even the worst shooters, very rarely did I see them miss at the closest point. You know what I mean? I think it was 5 feet or 7 feet. Because it's just, I mean, you have to really be not aiming at, like you would have to just be crazy or have weak ass wrists or something. Now beyond that, it gets a little shaky. but yeah, I mean, a lot of things could have happened. I mean, there was a lot of irresponsibility in that whole situation. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm gonna hear because I don't know they dropped the charges of murder. I don't know if they. Because I don't know if you're allowed to just walk around with a pistol in Chicago, but I guess they let that slide too. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Was it the mom's pistol?
Who the fuck knows? Even if it was.
He's lucky the guy didn't have a pistol.
I mean, like I said, that situation could go all type of different ways, and that's what I mean. Is like, because it's like, did you? Because we're satisfied with the outcome because the bad guy or the worst guy in the situation is the one that got hurt, but it could have went the whole other way. Is what I'm saying, and so it's like. It could have been the mama that got hurt. It could have been the son that got hurt. It could have been the same situation, except both of them went to prison. So it's like,
or a bystander got hurt. There's that one guy with the cigarillo hanging out of his mouth.
Yep.
Who's like, he's the smartest one because he saw what was happening. He bounced.
Yeah, or the bystander got hurt. Yeah, exactly. See, I'm that dude. I'm not sitting there with my phone out or none of that other shit. Once I feel when my spidey sense tingling, I'm out. I don't be asking permission. I don't no matter where I am. If I'm at a party, whatever the fuck, like if I just got that feeling, I leave. I leave immediately. I'm not saying goodbye. I'm not stopping the chit chat. You know what I mean? It was like, Brian, where you go? I'll say whatever I got to say while I'm moving towards the door. But it's like something ain't right. Something ain't right. I can feel something. I'm out. Because I've been in that situation way too many times.
So it looks like the gun was the mom's. She's the one that had the FOID card, which is what you need in Cook County. Okay. You need a firearm owner or ownership identification document, something like that. The firearm owner's identification card. And she also had a concealed carry permit, according to this article.
Hell yeah.
So
she's a responsible citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, but then she left the gun in the car with a 14-year-old, I guess. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, though, it's like, okay. So here's my view on that. Okay. If you're gonna own weapons and have children, you have to teach them. You have to teach. You can't hide it from them. You know what I mean? It's like you have to teach them.
Sure.
It's because it's no different than hiding all the knives in the house or locking them out of the kitchen so they can't get near the stove. It's like you have to teach them that what's dangerous and what ain't. It's like it's because you never know what situation you're gonna be in where they're gonna be near it. It's gonna be out. You know what I mean? You could be cleaning it and fucking have a stroke and pass out. It's like there's so many scenarios where your child could be around the weapon, and the less they know, the more dangerous the situation is, to me.
Yep. Strong agree.
So baby, I don't know what kind of person this woman is, but it sounds like, because most of the time, listen, if you're a piece of shit, you don't got your paperwork together. You know what I'm saying? If she got her paperwork together, that changes all my what ifs. That eliminates a lot of the what ifs. But who knows? And what was the name of this business? What was in there? What was it? Was it a chicken spot? What was it?
I don't remember.
Let's see. It doesn't really say the two articles that I'm looking at. It just says entered the restaurant. Maxwell Street Express.
Here's the wildest shit to me though, right? Is according to this article, I think the article I pulled up was from god damn it, Instagram. It was like from Chicago, CBS Chicago or something like that, CBS 5 or something like that. But according to that, the charges were dropped because the prosecutor eventually saw the video of her being punched before the shooting. Now, I'm not sure what the fuck that means because the only video shows her being punched. There's not other videos, right? So
some of them cut off before he starts swinging for whatever reason. Okay,
and so they initially charged her.
It's the same video. It's the same video.
It's the same video. Okay, but also here's the other thing: is like, are they saying that? Because listen, theoretically, we live in a innocent until proven guilty type situation, right? That's what we're told. So are they saying that without the video showing that she was attacked first, that she would have gone to prison?
Well, no, not necessarily. She might have gone to court, and then they would have had witnesses come in and say, "Yeah, we saw him."
Yeah, but you talked to
her 3 times.
You talked to all the witnesses before all that.
But didn't they leave too, like right after?
I think she.
Yeah, they fled the scene after, but they did turn themselves in.
Okay.
Yeah, and here's the other thing: is like the way it was reported was that she told the boy to shoot the witnesses, but the other motherfucker could have been involved as well. She didn't say shoot everybody; she said shoot him too.
Yeah.
Right. So who the fuck knows what was going on in there? But it's unfortunate.
I mean, you're bringing up a good point though, which is when should the investigation happen? Obviously, the investigation should happen before the charges are brought.
That's what I say.
The problem was they were charged before they were charged, and then they did the investigation, and then the investigation prompted them to drop the charges. Charges should not have been brought until they felt that they had an appropriate case to bring.
Yeah, and we all know why.
And you need to investigate first.
Don't we? Don't we all know why? All right, we don't got to bring it up, but we can.
They finally watch the video and they go, "Oh, this guy's black. We don't really care."
Oh, right. Yeah, he only I mean, come on. Come on, who did he kill here? Come on, what are we talking about?
This it looks like Maxwell Street Express is one of your classic. They pretty much got everything.
Oh, like a hood, carry out.
It's a hood joint. Yeah, it's a hood carry out with just like steak sandwiches, tacos, chicken wings, pork chop sandwiches, Polish sausage, yada yada yada.
Okay. Oh, we forgot right at the top to do all the little plugs. Don't forget to follow me at BS Comedian on all my socials. If you got any questions, comments, concerns you want, advice from the advice champ, email me at BSwithBrianSimpson@gmail.com or leave a voicemail at 323-451-1980. Also, don't forget, I'm coming to Denver. I'm coming to Denver, Colorado. July 24th. No, wait a minute. I've got it all backwards. It's not even that. It's bitch. It's July 13th, 14th, and 15th. I'll also be in West Nyack, New York, July 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Also, every this coming Tuesday and every Tuesday, Bottom of the Barrel at the Comedy Mothership in Austin, Texas, over here on 6th Street. Don't forget to get your tickets at 7:30 and 10:30. The 7:30 show sells out pretty quickly every week when it goes on sale. And there's usually probably 15, 20 tickets left for the 10:30 show. So that's your best bet if you're trying to get up in there. And you never know who pop in.
The show also has some pretty good pop-ins and drop-ins.
Yeah, you never know. You never know who pop in and drop in. I'll put it like this. Any comedian that's in the building might pop in on Bottom of the Barrel. Everyone loves it. It's a challenge. It's something different. It's a different show every week because it's random. It's from audience suggestions. Some of the audiences are fucking stupid though. But that's just what happens when you get a large group of people together. Some people are going to be dumb. You know what I mean? We're sponsored by Bug Assault. They give us free fly guns, pistols and rifles that we give out as prizes when I hear a particularly good suggestion from one of the audience members. I give them a gun. It's a shoot salt. It's supposed to kill bugs, like knock them out of the sky and all this other stuff. So all those other things. So what's the elephant in the room? Oh, the Russian coup fizzles. 3M has to pay billions for forever chemicals penis implant. Okay, yeah. The Russian coup. Now, what the fuck was that? Like? Okay, I know this is all I know about it, Rob.
Sure.
Is this the top story? Okay.
I mean that was probably the biggest story over the weekend. I think
it felt like a dud to me. I mean, or maybe you know what? Maybe it's not over though. But it feels like so Russia's at war with Ukraine. People care for some reason. For a lot of people, in my community, it's just whites versus whites. I guess like if if you put a gun to my head, who are the bad guys? I mean, maybe Putin. I think Putin's probably the bad guy in this situation. I mean, I don't know if I can go Russia is the bad guy, like the Russian people, because like a lot of them don't want no bullshit. They just like the American people. They're like, what is this bullshit? But they don't have no control over it. And Russia, Putin had like a private military force, kind of like our version of Blackwater, called the
Wagner.
the Wagner Group. And I guess over there, Wagner's some cool shit to say. Because why would you name your mercenary group Wagner unless it was like some dope shit in Russia? You know what I mean? Like our shit's Blackwater, which is a cool thing for a shady. Anyway, so they were basically private troops that could sort of skirt around, do what our real troops aren't technically legally allowed to do, even though it seems like Putin doesn't really care about the law to that degree. But, but they had beef with the regular military people, the way their troops were being, because listen, Wagner recruited most of his troops from prison. So he was like, I'm gonna go get some hard motherfuckers, offer them freedom so they can go do dirty shit over there in Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? Like they willing to do dirt shit. And what's wild is, I think the last dispute was that Wagner was trying to stop the regular army from firing at a civilian convoy. And you would think it would be the prisoners that would, like you would think it would be the army of prisoners that would shoot at civilians. But a lot of the criminals have like an honor thing, like a weird honor thing about women and kids and all, right? And this was my experience in our military, and it's that everybody can't handle having power, and it's always the fucking cowards that want to bully people and fuck with innocent people and shit like that, right? Anyway, Wagner he had a lot of beef with the people that were running the war, not necessarily with Putin. And this motherfucker marched on Moscow. He took over a base close to Moscow and started marching towards that motherfucker. And people was joining him, like nobody really stopped him. It wasn't a lot of bloodshed. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those wild things. And then Putin got on TV and said they was traitors and they would be punished to the fullest extent and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And I think this is the first time since Putin's been in charge of Russia for almost my whole life. And through various means. Like he only been the president for like 15 years or 20 years or something like that. But he been running the motherfucker for like 30, right? Something like that. So this is the first time I've ever heard of his power within the country being challenged in a meaningful way. So anyway, it was a lot going on, and I woke up the next day and there was nothing going on. Like they said, he was going back to not Chechnya. What was he going back to?
Belarus?
Yeah, he was going back to Belarus. The leader of Wagner Group, and I can't remember his name either. He was
I'm gonna fuck up the pronunciation, but it's Prigozhin, Yevgeny Prigozhin.
What's the last name?
Prigozhin, Prigozhin. I'm butchering that, but that's how you spell it.
No, I think okay. Prigozhin. Prigozhin. Prigozhin.
Prigozhin.
Okay. Well, this motherfucker is going back to where is it? Belarus?
Belarus, right?
He's going back to Belarus. I guess the Belarusian president negotiated a truce. None of his troops will be prosecuted, blah, 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 blah. But he's still talking shit. So that's what happened. So it was a lot. It was nothing. And then the next day it was a little something because he came back still talking shit because he's pissed about something. You know what I mean? Because this was Putin's right-hand man with his own private army that did all of the little dirty work. And now he has not directly challenged Putin. His problem is with the other people in charge of the military. And so I don't know if they're going to be removed. I don't know if Putin going to snatch his ass up, poison him. Because he old anyway,
My understanding was that, so they're this private military force, and one of the issues is that they're sometimes given orders by the Russian military brass that they reject. And so some of the top brass in the Russian military wanted to fold the Wagner Group into the official Russian military so they would be forced to carry out the missions in the manner that the Russian military wanted them to. And he was like, if I do that, if I allow that to happen, then you're putting my guys in danger, because he doesn't really trust the efficacy or the skill
of the military leaders that have
traditional
botched.
Russian military. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they are at best in a stalemate with a country that is 20 times smaller. I know obviously that's not necessarily fair because they're being financially and substantially backed by the rest of the world and stuff like that. But still, we're not sending troops officially over there. So it's wild that they're at worst losing, at best at a stalemate with Ukraine. So maybe they don't know what they're doing.
You know how they found like an extra $6 billion and they gave it to Ukraine, the American government? What if that extra $6 billion was given to him and they're like, hey, we'll give you $6 billion and you go back?
Well, yeah, maybe they found that $6 billion from all the money we lost in Afghanistan and in Iraq. Every time there's a war, it's a fire sale. People are stealing, people are losing money, people are getting raped, people are getting displaced, infrastructure is being destroyed, all those things.
Well, I believe the $6 billion wasn't cash. It was an undercounting of the value of weapons that we gave to Ukraine, right? Is that what it was?
Accounting error. Maybe he found the, accounting error. And they're like, hey, we'll give you $6 billion, just go attack.
Okay. Now, next story. This guy, was it a billionaire? He died from getting a penis implant. Tell me about this. What's going on? Nobody wants to watch you adjust your junk. I know it's hot outside and that your dick is sticking to your leg, but there's a better way to live. Sheath underwear keeps things breezy down there with one pouch for your dick and one for your balls. You'll be comfortable no matter the weather. Whatever underwear style you're into, Sheath has a color or pattern you'll love. Keep it classic in neutrals or check out their collabs with Michael Malice or Cowboy Cerrone. Yeah, I use Sheath. I replaced all my underwear with Sheath because I like having a pocket for my balls so they don't stick to my legs. That's the big key right there. And, especially as you get, some of you young men don't get it yet, but as you get a little older, your balls are going to hang, especially in the summertime, your balls going to hang lower, and your balls sticking to your leg is just a daily aggravation for some men. I can't do it. I can't do it no more. And we didn't forget about our sweaty boobed listeners. Summertime can be brutal for you too. Check out Sheath sports bras, bikini briefs, and boy shorts to keep it breezy and trendy. Yeah, aerate that pussy. Go to sheathunderwear.com and use code BS to get 20% off your first order, plus Sheath Underwear's 100% money back guarantee. That's sheathunderwear.com. Promo code BS. Get Sheath Underwear, support the show, support your balls.
This was an article by ProPublica titled... Oh, where'd it go?
ProPublica, is that legitimate?
Yeah, that's a legitimate investigative journalism outlet. It says, inside the secretive world of penile enlargement. And this is...
is it a secret?
This isn't really like a top... Well, I think what's interesting is that this guy, there's something called the pneuma, which was invented by James Elist, a urologist that TMZ describes as the Thomas Edison of penis surgery. It is it's a surgery that is, I believe, the only FDA-approved penile implant.
What is the approval process?
So what it is, it's like a semi-rigid hot dog bun shaped.
No, Rob, we don't got to get into the visuals. What I'm saying is, how does it get approved by the FDA? If they you would think they would have to see some finished dicks before they go. Yeah, this is good for everybody.
Well, what I think happened was I think they approved the material that the implant was made from, and the guy who invented this thing is pretending as if he's pitching it as if the FDA approved it for the actual purpose of penile enlargement, like as if the FDA says it works, which that is not what they've said. It's just that the material that it's made out of is approved for use in human beings. So a little bit of a slippery, slippery advertising campaign, I would say.
Hey, listen, Rob, this is a perfect time to play a clip from a few weeks ago. You got what you got. We already talked about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got what you got.
Yep.
You got what you got. There's no, listen, now, if the day comes where they got penis transplants, then maybe that might be, but it's in terms of you stretching or adding to what you had, it's like, because I believe this guy was a billionaire, correct?
Which guy?
This guy that died from the penis implants.
Did somebody die from the penis implant? Billionaire? That's not in this article, but maybe that's in another.
Oh, so women, that's not what, I thought that's what we were talking about.
Mm-mm.
Oh, no. See, I thought,
this is an older, that's an older article. That's from 2019. You're talking about the diamond trading billionaire, Ehud Aria Laniato?
I don't remember his name. I just know I saw it yesterday. Somebody, a rich man died from trying to get his dick bigger.
Yeah, that happened in 2019. 65-year-old diamond tycoon had suffered a heart attack during a penis enlargement surgery. I don't believe that was the pneuma, though. I think that is the, if you want to call it more traditional penis enlargement. Nope. It is pneuma. It is the pneuma. It's just that's from 2019. The ProPublica article is from this year.
Okay.
But it is the pneuma, which was created by that E-list guy. The other one that most people get is some sort of filler injections, which is sort of like
that's temporary.
That's temporary.
Is that the same stuff they do lip injections with? Like
they can, because they can either use.
I just don't know, man.
They can either use fat from your own body, which your body breaks down, or they can use more inert materials, which are similar to like the butt lifts and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. I mean, the article should be called "The Secretive World of Dudes with Small Dicks," because it's not that many of them. You know what I'm saying? Guys, listen out here. Listen, if you average. I think the average is 5.5 inches erect.
Something like that.
Something like that. And if you're a little lower than that, whatever. But it's like 5 to 7, something like that, right? And it varies by continent, right? So I think 5.5 is the average American penis. Now, listen, if you're anywhere from that 5 to 9 range, you're fine. You're fine. Talk to women. You're fine. Listen, there's women out there that are size queens and they want the bigger the better type shit, but they're also very rare. You know what I mean? It's not they all talk like that, but most of them can't. They don't want no dick like that. They think they do. They think they want because here's what I'm trying to say. The reason why there are real size queens out there, but the reason why most women think they want a dick of X inches is because most men lie about how big their dicks are. So they might be getting a 6-inch dick that they think is an 8-inch dick. You know what I mean? Or whatever. So, but it's like for real, if you pull out a 10-inch dick, for most women, they're gonna be like, I'm good. You know what I mean? Or they might fake and try and be like, it hurts. So, like they ain't out here just taking no motherfucking hammer like that. You know what I mean? Most ain't.
Yeah.
So my point is like you don't gotta have no hammer. You know, cause you watching too much porn. It's like those guys. That's why they're in porn. It's because they're above average in penis size and ability to stay hard and all of that other stuff. But it's like that's like you watching basketball, being mad that you're not fucking 6'10" or 7'2" or whatever. You know, it's like it's not you. Now listen.
I think the male equivalent is like men who say they want to date a freak.
Oh right.
Where it's like it's like. Number one, most of them they really don't.
Right,
most
you can't handle a real freak. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Can't handle a real freak. Now that doesn't mean that maybe it was fun when you like dated that one freak for a month when you were 25 and you could handle it then, but now you're in your 30s and you can't handle a freak. That's fine too. But the reality is that most men really don't want a freak the way that they talk about it. Most women don't want a dude with a hammer the way a lot of them talk about it.
Now, my point is, the whole point I'm trying to make is that the amount of dudes that actually have a penis that's so small that it's going to be an issue in all of their relationships that's a small percentage of the population. I want to know what percentage it is actually.
I think South Korea.
Micropenis is very rare, affecting about 0.6% of people worldwide.
Okay, but micropenises, that's a whole other thing. I'm not talking about micropenises, but I'm talking about just small penises, like under the average. Below, actually, I guess below average means.
Well, below average is going to be 49%.
49%, right? Yeah, so that's not insubstantial. But again,
well, okay, but let's lay it out though. So it's like no pun intended, but like what you're talking about is if somebody has a 5-inch penis, that's below average, but that's not a problem.
Right.
You can do what you need to do.
Yeah, precisely.
With a 5-inch penis, for the vast majority of women, they're okay with like that's more than enough to do the job.
I mean, you definitely got to get your core together though. If y'all did fucking with,
yeah.
If y'all did fucking with a 5-inch dick, you got to have your core strength and endurance up, because you're gonna have to be hitting these angles and all that. Also, girth matters. So that's a whole other thing. Length, a lot is made of length, but I think the vast majority of women, again, will tell you that girth is equally, if not more important. Like once you're at a certain length, girth matters more. So that's a whole other thing. But again, if you're out there fucking with a 5-inch dick, you're gonna have your shit together. Maybe get your pussy eating skills up. All of that. But yeah,
it's a skill issue. You just got to get good.
But my point is, if you're a male in America, your chances are your penis is not so small that you need to risk your life to make it bigger. That's all I'm saying. That's the whole point of what I'm trying to say is because none of that other shit works. Penis pumps, penis pills. None of that shit works. None of that shit will make you, you got what you got. You got what you got. Stop risking it out here. Again, but who am I? There's motherfuckers out here, like I just read about a dude that did surgery so he could be taller. I think they added 2 or 3 inches to his height.
Oh, where they like cut your leg bones and stretch them out?
Yeah, or some, I don't know where they get the extra bone from. And
well, I mean, there is a procedure where they have these braces on your legs and they cut the bone and then they crank the braces to stretch your leg just a millimeter at a time, and the bone is like growing together, and they constantly
until it heals, until it's supposed. But how long does that take?
And it takes years. It takes years to fully heal. And there's some issues where, normally if you break a bone and then it fuses back together, the fuse point is actually stronger than the rest of the bone surrounding it. But I think there are some issues with the limb lengthening surgery.
So you limping around.
But I could be wrong about that.
You limping around for years, so you can be a little bit taller.
In that movie about Saddam Hussein's son, the twin that Saddam Hussein's son had, they had to do that surgery, and they made him taller. And he can't walk at all. He's like in a wheelchair during that time.
What about now?
I don't even know if that guy's still alive.
Is he dunking?
He only went up, I think, 2 inches is a lot.
2 inches in height? I mean, yeah, but you could just get rich. I don't know, man, because it's weird because I guess I'm one of the very few short people that has never had short man comp syndrome. You know what I mean? Like I've never.
You don't come off as short though.
Well, that's what I mean is because
there is an element of that.
My height, very rarely in my life has my height made me feel insecure. I can only think of one time, and then I got the fuck over that real quick because I was like, oh, I'm a beast. Like I don't, and I'm not saying I've never been insecure, but I'm just saying not for that reason,
So this says it says in most cases you wear it, so you have to adjust it multiple times a day, after you get the surgery that severs the bone and then installs the device that stretches out your leg. So you're actually adjusting it yourself multiple times a day, according to doctors' orders or whatever. And meanwhile, you are doing physical therapy. The maximum is like 6 inches, but that's that's extraordinarily rare that that's happened, that it's been that much. And it's about 2 inches every 6 months.
But show me somebody where it's worked though, like where they back walking fully, where because what is the point of that? Because here's the other side of it. How much taller can your legs be before your body look weird? Because your spine ain't that big, your arms are not like you like. I guess love yourself. I guess regardless. I don't know
All right, here's a picture. So you can see this guy on the right. He's all of the length comes from your lower leg.
Oh wow. Okay. I mean, I guess.
So they cut your shin.
Yeah, they cut your shin. If you look here, you can
so
see.
This guy's fully.
The reason why they created this surgery is for kids who had, a bone deformity, right, where one leg was significantly shorter than the other, or curved, or something like that. And obviously, it's a little bit, I'm not going to say easier, but more effective when you're talking about a child who's still growing, and you can try to get one leg to catch up to the other one, right? And then they're still building their coordination. It's a little bit different when it's a cosmetic surgery that an adult is undergoing.
Yeah, I can see it. I guess. Because here's the other side of it. Okay, go back to showing that one, the Asian man. Because here's the other side of this, right? Is so say you some miracle worker, and you get the full 6-inch height out of that, right? Now people gonna expect you to have that hammer. You know what I mean? You go from 5'6" to 6'1", and people gonna expect, and you skinny like this. Women expect tall, skinny people to be walking around with that hammer, and you not. So you gonna have to have both surgeries. Now you taking double the risk. Or you're disappointing people,
See, this is why people do it. Look at this guy, he's eye level with this lady, and then here, her eyes are at his chin. That's why these. Wow. That's why. Just get over it, man. Just
so you can look different in pictures. I mean, oh wow, well, no way, that's real. That guy went from dwarf to not dwarf, I guess. I was gonna say normal, but I would have got backlash for that. I went from well, I guess I just said it. Okay, I mean, listen, you know what?
This woman got limb straightening as well.
Okay, yeah, well that worked out.
But this worked out. But also, now she has a dwarf's body, like upper body, and then like legs. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with being a dwarf. You were trying not to say normal legs. he whenever Rob thinks of a word that he doesn't want to say, he goes. Da.
So Uday Hussein, his son was 6'6", so his double had to be taller. So
they made the double get taller.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, yeah. But you know what? I guess look, man. Whatever you got to do for you to feel better, for you to feel better about yourself. I guess that's important. But risking your life, I mean, I suppose this leg straightening thing is not really that much of a risk compared to like having somebody cut into your penis. You're not gambling your penis away. This surgery fails. At worst, you're back to the height you were, I suppose. But God, I can't imagine getting my leg. I can't imagine. I mean, and here's another thing. I've never lied about my height. I'm 5'6". I've never said different. It's I guess, but I guess because I've always been a bigger person, And I think my oldest brother's 5'8", but he was always like prom king, captain of the football team. You know, I was had women, so it was like I never saw it as like a disadvantage. You know, I guess now, look, it is easier for taller men to get women.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, but it's like, that's like, or I'll say this: it's easier for a taller man to get a woman's attention. You know, just like it's easier for a woman with big old titties or fat ass to get a man's attention. Now, retaining them is a whole other thing. But yeah, it is a trait that is attractive. But there are other traits that are attractive. You know what I'm saying? You can, you can be handsome. You can be a pretty boy. You can be very, very well dressed. You know, you can be very, very charming. You can be, you could have that hammer on you.
You could stand on your wallet.
You could be rich. I mean, listen, being rich solves a whole bunch of shit. Being rich makes up for like 3 or 4 deficiencies for men. Mm-hmm. I don't think being rich makes it easier for women as much as it does for men. You know.
No, I don't think it does.
No, or not even rich, but just well off. I don't think being well off makes it easier for women than it does But yeah, but there's a whole bunch of things.
It can though, because I mean, I've definitely dated women where it's like they just didn't have their fucking life together. That was a turnoff.
Well, yeah, but that's not the same thing as I'm just talking about because you're right. It's a turnoff when somebody is completely fucking chaos. But I think that's just because men need order at home. Like, we don't need extra chaos. You know what I mean? That's like unattractive. But I don't mean chaotic. I just mean, like, I don't mean in order. I just mean like making a lot of money. You know, making a lot of money doesn't make. I mean, very rarely do you hear.
I would actually say that I think for a lot of men, it is emasculating if their partner,
right. There's a very
makes a significant amount more money than you. That can be emasculating for a lot of men.
The two kinds of men that are fine with that are like users, like pimps and what do you call them, gigolos and shit like that, or I lost my train of thought. Loading.
I'd say smart men. I think I would love if my wife made 5 times as much money as me.
Like, I mean, like, kept
That'd
men.
be fantastic.
No, like, yeah, I wouldn't have a problem if my woman made more money than me. But, as long as I'm making money. Like, the type of dudes that are like,
sure,
kept men, that's weird to me.
It's like saying Oprah's not any hotter just for the money she has.
Oprah is not hotter for the money she has. You know what I mean?
You're talking about like male sugar babies.
Right. Like, there's men that are like, they out there looking for women to take care of them, but they don't really love her. You know what I mean? I guess there's a lot of women out there that do that too. But it's like, but a man with money is literally more attractive to women in general. You know what I mean? And I'm not making that up. That's just what it is. You ask the average woman, men get more attractive as we get older because we tend to be more established. So it's like, but a man, like, this is what I'll say. This is what I'm trying to say. Let me get it out clearly. If you take the list of traits that men say they find attractive in women on average, and you find a woman that is lacking several of those traits, her having $1 million doesn't make up for that. Not to say she can't get laid, not to say somebody won't use her or whatever. But you see a man that's like, women say they want you to be tall, handsome, fit, charming, all these other things. And you could be missing like 5 of those, but you own your own business that's successful, and it's like that makes you more attractive. You know what I'm saying? You pull up, you see, the average woman see a man pull up in a Range Rover, they're gonna be like, ooh. You know what I mean? If you see a woman pull up, if a woman pulls up in a Range Rover, and the men they looking at the car.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Unless a bad bitch step out of there, they looking at the car. You know what I'm saying? A man pull up in a Range Rover, I feel like the average woman is looking at the man, going, what?
That says more about women than it does men, though.
Well, no, I just think it's the way I think it's the way that we are socialized. It's just, it's like women are looking for security. You know what I mean? And men are looking for servitude or I don't know what the fuck. I don't even know what it is. But it's I think it's just the nature of women being choosers, right? Because getting pregnant is a risk to them. It's like they're picky, selective choosers, so they're looking for. I'm just talking about their lizard brain. I'm not saying there aren't intellectually intelligent women out there that can discern X, Y, Z, but I just mean in general, they're looking for someone that can take care of that if they ever made the mistake of getting pregnant by somebody.
I mean, that's the nature part. There's also, like you said, there's a nurture part where, in this country and most countries, for a long time, women couldn't even have a credit card or a bank account or start a business or own property. Or
right. Or
whoop-de-whoop-de-woo, right? So the only way for them to have financial stability was to gain a male partner who could provide those things for them because they were just literally barred from achieving them for themselves.
Right. Yeah.
And even though now like, women can own businesses and stuff like that the history doesn't like stop one day.
I know. It was
the effects of that.
It was such a mistake to let women own stuff. You know what I mean? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, but also it's like what's impressive to your friends. You know what I'm saying? If you walk in with a woman that look like Quasimodo, your friends gonna be like, "What the fuck?" And you gonna be like, "Yeah, but she own okay." You know what I'm saying? But if a woman walk in with me and they go, he overweight, he's not particularly fashionable. Yeah, but he owns the fucking Kruger grocery store over there. They're like, okay, go ahead, girl. It's like it's a whole other thing. It's like what's impressive to the people that you're trying to impress. That's a whole other thing. So I don't know what it is. I didn't make the rules. Okay, I just enforced them. Okay. I benefit from the status quo. Okay, let's move on to this email. Man, I feel like every time we talk about men, women stuff, I always feel like we should have a woman around. We need like a woman with like a hotline, like a woman we can call when women stuff comes up. Because I hate. Because I know that like our female listeners be watching, going like screaming shit back at the whatever, and I was like, I want your opinion. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's the whole other thing.
Send us an email. Listen. Send us a voicemail. Let us know what we got wrong.
Yeah. Also, like I'm always wrong. That's why the show's called bullshit. It's like, it's BS. But and those are my initials. But you know what I'm saying. It's like I just be talking out my ass. I don't know everything. I do know. I know most things. I'm an expert on a lot. I mean, I'm always right. Most like 90% of the time, I'm right. Mm-hmm. I know what I know. Have you seen? Okay, so this is an email from a fan here. Hey Brian and fam. Have you seen the show Class of '09 on Hulu? I was really surprised how close to reality the show is when it comes to AI. The FBI basically merged an Amazon-like predictive algorithm that tries to learn everything about you from all sources to guess what your purchasing interests are with every criminal database in the country, with the goal of creating a list of every possible suspect for a particular crime and then rank them in order of who is most likely the perpetrator. The goal was to end discrimination because according to the AI, everyone was a suspect until proven innocent instead of the other way around. It starts off great but ends horribly, as you can imagine, obviously. Curious what you think of the idea and how close to it do you think we are? It seems like with how fast ChatGPT can process tons of data, all you would need to do is connect it with Prism and the FBI database to start this program. One of the big issues you run into is that you could basically point this Chat FBI to any person or group of people, and because there are so many flaws, the AI will be able to find something or an interpretation of something that could be proven as illegal. It's kind of freaking me out the more I think about it. I think we are pretty far away from this because like we talked about previously, but like because so here's the other thing. Advertisers and our media, they are the most evil institutions in the history of humanity, because I saw Denzel Washington talking about this recently, but it's like we're past the point where they even care about being right. They just want to be first. They want to have the scoop. They want to be sensational, and they'll lie and misinform people and use improper terms. Because I think the fact that AI is being used so ubiquitously to apply to any sort of machine learning type situation, it's confusing to the average person that doesn't understand it. Like, this isn't what we are using now, the chat GPTs and the Bings, and it's not really artificial intelligence in the way that the average person would think of it in their mind. It's not smart, right? It's just it's just an advanced algorithm, but it's not actually thinking and coming up with things on its own. Not yet, anyway. So, or it's really, really smart and it's fooling us into thinking it's dumb. You know, but that's a whole other thing. But my point is, I think we would need an actual intelligence, an actual artificial intelligence to get to this point, like Minority Report type shit. So it's not freaking me out just yet. I mean, because here's the truth. It's like either we're nowhere near this being possible, or the AI that is smarter than us already exists, and it's already laying the groundwork to destroy us anyway. So,
well, here's a third option. There's a third option, which is that it doesn't work, but we treat it as if it does, which is probably the most dangerous version. Like, in the same way, like we brought up how ChatGPT hallucinates information, right? So it will spit back out a review of some like body of information, and it's incorrect.
See, that's another thing.
So
scientists suck at naming stuff. Why would you call them hallucinations? It's like think about how much that would mislead the average person. Why would you call it a hallucination? It's just confusing.
Well, scientists didn't come up with that term. The people who are selling the technology came up with that term. And a lot of these fears that people are talking about from ChatGPT, it's actually just hype from the people who are selling the technology, because they want us to believe that it's more powerful than it actually is.
Yeah, those are the people that need to be arrested. The people in charge of writing headlines and stuff like that. Because this is what I do every single time that any website gives me because I wake up and I go to my Google feed, I don't know what it is on iPhones, but maybe they have Apple News, but it's like you just swipe to a screen and it shows you all the local news, and there's headlines and stuff based on what you normally search. And so anytime I see a misleading headline, I tell Google, don't ever show me anything from that website again. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to reward those motherfuckers. It's like, the type of people that just they only care about the clicks. They don't care if they misinform people to the point where like people die or are harmed or whatever. They just care about, and so anytime it's a misleading headline, I'm like, fuck them all the way forever. No matter what website it is, even if it's the New York Times or whatever the fuck, Yeah, because how many times you remember there used to be, this is back when everybody was on Facebook, there used to be a group on Facebook called I Fucking Love Science. You remember that? Mm-hmm. Y'all remember that? Yep. And when they first came out, it was cool as shit. And then they started doing that shit. I'm sure they got popular. They hired somebody and they started doing that shit where, like, we found life on Mars, and then you click on it and it's like, actually, we found some carbon that could be the signature of a long gone. It's like, well, then just tell the truth. Mm-hmm. Every 3 months, a headline says we found life on Mars, and then it turns out to be something else. Or they'll, I can't think off the top of my head of all the other ways or more egregious ways that they've done it, but it pisses me the fuck off. So anyway, I'm not worried about it. We got some voicemails here, Rob?
Yes, we do.
All right, hit me.
Hey, what's up, Brian, man? I love what you do. You're very, very funny. I was wondering what's your take on strategy games on the PC. real-time strategy, RTS, like Age of Empires, Company of Heroes. I think the other one is called Iron Harvest. I forgot what that. I haven't gotten that game yet, but it's kind of like Company of Heroes. Yeah, do you play them? Do you like them? Do you enjoy them? I guess Warcraft before it was World of Warcraft for online. Whether that had a campaign and stuff like that. Though I wish they would have more World of Warcraft, but with campaign. You don't have to go online. But anyways, let me know what your take is on that. Yeah, have a good one, man. Love what you do. Very, very funny.
Yeah, thank you. So I don't. I guess his question is like, do I play strategy games? Well, listen, I played the fuck out of Dawn of War 2. In fact, that was the game that pulled me onto PC from console, like permanently. Dawn of War 2, Soulstorm, like it was the perfect RTS game, so real time strategy game. And I tried to get into. I bought every single 4X game, I think, for a long time, and I tried to get into them all. I play a little bit of Civilization. Age of Wonders 4, I like that one. I played that one a bit, but I just always lose interest, you know? I need a little more something. I don't know if it's like they get too complex. Also the goddamn, what you call it? The Warhammer, the newer Warhammer games, I can't get into those either. I mean, I tried, like, I think it's a cool concept. I have them all, but I didn't buy them. And then also, it's like if you fall too far behind and you want to catch up and buy everything, they want like $500-$600. So, you know, that ain't worth it to me for a game I might like or might not like, you know. So, but I do like them. I just I haven't found one that is just the perfect, because there's so many different things that go into them, and I just haven't found one that was just like the perfect mix of stuff for me. So for now, it's just Diablo 4 and Overwatch. Also, the Diablo 4, the Diablo 4 obsession is kind of waning a bit. I played up to level, I think I'm like at level 82, something like that. And I realized like it's a very polished game, but it's very shallow. If that makes any sense. It seems like it was probably unfinished, like it was probably rushed out. You know, which is crazy to say for a game that has kind of had as few hitches as it has, but it feels like it needed a little. It's a great game. It needed a little more time to bake. You know, you can tell, and you can. What I'm saying is, the game is so polished and so well done that the parts of the game that were unfinished or half-assed stand out. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of little, you know, for a game that would have like, you know, hundreds of things that needed to be done and worked on. You know, there's probably a couple dozen things where you're like, well, somebody definitely dropped the ball right here. You know what I mean? You know, it's almost like how you can tell. It's almost like if you come to a potluck dinner or whatever, and you know the store-bought shit is gonna stand out over the shit that was home cooked. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of thing. It's like all of this home cooking shit was great, and then some stuff was just kind of like left to the wayside. And now that I played the game so much, it's like all those little things are starting to irritate me more and more. Still a great game though, but I just, you know, I want them to hurry up with the polish. You know. Anyway, let me see here.
What would interest you in a new RTS? Because I know like there's a new Warhammer RTS. Maybe if you
what do you mean new?
What you're looking for in one, people can.
What do you mean a new Warhammer RTS?
New to you. You were. Oh, there's Warhammer Age of Sigmar Realms of Ruin is coming out. I don't know when it's coming out. This year sometime. And they're saying that it's a return to StarCraft, old school.
Oh,
style.
see, I'm with that. The base build, so we didn't make the distinction. There's real time strategy, and then there's 4X, and then there's you know the turn based tactics games. I like the turn-based tactics. I can get into one of those, like a XCOM type deal. I can get into those. Real-time strategy. It's been a long time since I played one because, like I said, Warhammer was the best one ever. And bro, I would just take Warhammer 2 with updated graphics. That's what it's like. You know what? I say that, but whenever companies do that, I'm always like, "What the fuck is this?" Do something new. I'm not gonna pay full price because they always want to charge you full price. They did that with Diablo 2. They remastered it, and then they charged $60 for it. Yeah, crazy the motherfucker. So yeah, I would be interested in that though. I love Warhammer. Real-time strategy can scratch a certain itch for me. Yeah, I can get into it.
Oh, it's by the people. This Age of Sigmar is by the people who did Company of Heroes 3.
Okay, that doesn't make me excited. I mean, Company Heroes was cool for the people that liked it. I never got into it, so I can't tell you one way or the other. But I'm not mad at it. I think that's Relic still. Relic, they can hit some home runs if they want to, but I think that's the same company that went from Dawn of War 2 to Dawn of War 3, which wasn't great. Or maybe I have it mixed up. Dawn of War 1 was the one with Soulstorm, right?
I think that's right.
Okay, yeah. So I got it all backwards. Dawn of War 1 was amazing. That was real-time strategy. And they went to Dawn of War 2 and they tried some different shit that I wasn't feeling it. So who knows? And Dawn of War 3 was a big, giant fucking disappointment. I see what they were going for there, and I was so hyped for that game. And then it wasn't it. Okay, we got one more voicemail.
Hey, what's up, Brian? It's your boy Chris, man. I just watched your recent podcast, and it's awesome, man. You're so fucking funny. I love when you talk about video games, and I was wondering if you could do, you can review video games. So, like, you have podcast episodes where you review video games, on any platform, whatever you like. I think that'd be really cool, man, because you're really fucking funny when you talk about them. All right. Have a good one, bud.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, the truth is, I'm just funny when I'm genuinely complaining, and so that's all it is. That's just how I'm funny. I complain.
Is there anything on the horizon that's coming out that you're excited for, video game wise?
What's that? What's it called?
You're saying
Starfield is coming out.
Starfield, okay.
Is that what it is? The Bethesda game?
Yeah, that's a new one.
I'm excited for the potential of that one. Not enough to pre-order. I'm not gonna pre-order. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see if that lives up to the hype. I'm a little suspicious that they hyping it up this far away from release. I think it comes out in September. So maybe that a little bit. That's about it. Is there anything that I can think of in particular?
But Bethesda's is Microsoft buying Bethesda? Is that actually happening?
No. Microsoft already owns. They own Bethesda. They're trying to buy Activision Blizzard.
They own Bethesda.
Yeah, they own Bethesda.
Oh, okay.
They're trying to buy Activision Blizzard, but they're in a lawsuit with Sony because Sony doesn't want to lose Call of Duty. So it's Sony's trying to say it's unfair to the gamers for them to buy one of the number one franchises and keep it exclusive to Xbox. And then Microsoft was like, well, we won't do that then. And then they coming out with Starfield, which is maybe the biggest game ever, and that's definitely exclusive to Xbox and PC. So, who gives a fuck?
Oh, really?
Well, the thing what's so funny about it is like Sony has PlayStation exclusives. So it's weird for them to try to make the argument that it's unfair to gamers to have exclusives when they started the whole exclusive shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, Elder Scrolls is also going to be Xbox and PC. It's going to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, man.
Elder Scrolls 6?
That's checkmate. Bethesda was the best studio for them to buy. If they buy Ubisoft, it's a wrap. It's a wrap if they buy Ubisoft. So who the fuck knows? Who knows? And now am I for there being all these, one big giant conglomerate that owns everything? No. But I'm excited for Microsoft to buy Activision because I feel like they be on less bullshit. less bullshit time. And Microsoft, I mean, as shown by Starfield, Microsoft is not afraid to spend money. They're not afraid to spend money to make money. You know, and a lot of these other places, they don't know that you got to do that. So, you know, who the fuck knows? Sony's going to lose this lawsuit ultimately. I mean, at least in America, they will. Yeah, they're going to lose to an American company in America for sure. Yeah. Because their argument has no weight to it. You know, because I don't know what the lawyers are saying, but that would be my first question to the Sony people. Okay, so then why do you do your exclusives? Are we going to make exclusives completely illegal? Because that's that's pretty much what you're asking. You know, so
could there be a distinction between like the different sizes of a franchise? I'm not saying that that's my argument because I don't really have a
I guess Sony's only real argument would be their only real argument would be the fact that this will be the first time that something was non-exclusive that will then be made exclusive by a purchase. Right? So maybe that's the one big distinction that they can make. But really, that seems like a thin argument right there. It's like, I mean, are we allowed to buy shit or we not?
Sure.
Right? And it's like, and you can't call them a monopoly because they don't own every game studio and I mean, Sony and Microsoft are basically a duopoly with Nintendo being like the little brother in the other room, you know. Actually, is that even really true? I don't know, because that's more of the portable landscape. So it's like they're the only two real big console companies, and consoles are going the way of the dodo anyway. I mean, it's to the point where, like, I don't even need a console. Like these new Samsung TVs, they just have the shit built in where, like, if you have the Xbox account, you can just sign in on the TV. You don't even need an Xbox. You know? Right. So it's so, you know.
Right.
It's wild to me.
That tech is still a little bit janky when I played it, but it ain't gonna be janky forever. Like they're gonna work out the kinks on it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously on the go it's a little janky for sure. You know, you got hotel Wi-Fi. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna help. But
So I'm reading this article right here. I think what might be happening is I don't think Sony expects to win this case, but apparently Microsoft offered them a 3-year and then a 10-year deal on Call of Duty that they rejected both of them. So it might be that they're just bringing this case to try to get more favorable terms on that 10-year deal, because Microsoft wants to sell, you know, they want to have exclusives so they can sell Xbox, right? But they also want to they want to license games to Sony because that gives them access to an entirely different console market. So as long as Sony's still selling PlayStations, publishers are going to want to license their games to the Sony market.
Right. Yeah. And apparently it's easier to develop for Sony and so forth. But well, Microsoft has the advantage is that Windows is on almost every PC. And now that PC is the main way that people game and not just a niche, right? I mean, the vast majority of games now are sold on PC, right? Am I wrong? Except for sports games. So it's like, or at least the PC market is significantly larger than it used to be. It used to be the last consideration. Now it's the first consideration, right? And so even though I think the Xbox is harder to develop for, if you develop something for Xbox, it is way easier to put it on the PC, which is a significant enough portion of the market for people to consider. So yeah, I mean, look, they're in competition.
This is saying that console games made up about 56.2% of sales, and PC titles were 41.3%.
Okay, right. So that's what I'm trying to say. So if Xbox and
that means that PC would essentially be like if you treated it like a console, that's the largest console.
Right, because the console includes Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch, right?
Yeah,
it's part of the market share. So it's like the PC market share is bigger than all of those. So that's my point. Now, and if you develop for Microsoft, you're going to get the PC market as well because it's easier to. So you know, who would have thunk it? Who would have saw this coming that Microsoft would be the Xbox, because PlayStation been winning for a long time. They've been winning for a long time. And, now who knows? Okay. Oh, man, I got to go pick up a PlayStation today for the thing. Okay. One last thing. Let's get it. Bullshit blind spots or ancient swords or, you know what? Black history. Alexandre Dumas. Actually, I have an earlier episode about him already. Okay. A series of two. Oh, well, we got to talk about bullshit blind spots because that's the theme of the show. But a series of 2 studies recently found that people who were the worst at detecting bullshit not only grossly overestimated their detection ability, but also overestimated their ability compared to other people. To me, this seemed to suggest that some people who knowingly spread bullshit are unaware of the fact that they often fall for it themselves, possibly because they think they're better at detecting it than everyone else. Across 2 studies, the researchers recruited 412 participants to examine the link between bullshit detection, overconfidence in one's abilities, and the perceived thinking process people engaged in when they encounter and evaluate potentially misleading information. With regard to study limitations, the researcher explained that the type of pseudo-profound bullshit stimuli that was used in this work was what might be encountered in conversation on social media or from the self-help inspiration guru industries. Also, we used a Western English-speaking sample of participants, so we can't draw any firm conclusions on whether these results would replicate in other types of cultures and languages. Are there other lessons we can take from this work? I think we've always known that. It's much harder for, I think this reflects on just the way we talk about politics nowadays. It's that most people are convinced that their side is not lying to them, that the other side is sheep, that they're stupid, that they're being manipulated and used for their vote, and the possibility that it's also them is completely, it's not even something they consider. Mm-hmm. So, I deal with this all the time. Like, a lot of people can't, they don't. What's the old Socrates quote, or was it Socrates quoting Plato?
I know that I know nothing.
It's like the unexamined life is not worth living type shit. It's like,
well, that's a different quote.
Right, because he's quoting something that was written. He's quoting. There's a quote from a play where it's him talking in the play, but it's not really him saying it. Right. Okay.
Well,
anyway,
I know that I know nothing is a saying that Plato said came from Socrates.
Okay. Right. Okay. So anyway, the point is the unexamined life is not worth living. It's the hardest thing to do. Is to really because in this context, examined means to question oneself, to scrutinize yourself the same way you would scrutinize another person. And most people they never even consider doing it. Like, it doesn't even occur to them to think to do it, to go, to zoom out and really examine yourself as if you were a stranger. Where are those ideas coming from? Why? Where's that feeling coming? See, this is why I think some of life's hardest, most difficult concepts have been tackled in comic books. This is why Marvel drops the ball sometimes. To me, is like they so scared to go there, when in the comic books they be going hard as fuck. Like take the Incredible Hulk for example. The Incredible Hulk is about mindfulness. Right? Like, I didn't read. I watched this guy on YouTube named Comics Explained, and he reads all the comic books somehow. This motherfucker has time to do all this. And then he does YouTube videos, like, just going through the stories, right? And I watch them all the time. And I just listened to him do this long, like, 4-hour Incredible Hulk story that was amazing. Well, it didn't end good. But the point is, Bruce Banner, everybody knows Incredible Hulk is Bruce Banner's anger, right? Well, Bruce Banner found a way to separate his psyche from the Hulk psyche in their minds. And so the Hulk's psyche is trapped in some room where Bruce Banner is controlling what he sees. And he can show him various levels of, like, basically he can show him shit that make him more and more angry, so that like his outside body, that's the Hulk, is getting stronger, because the more angry the Hulk gets, the stronger and bigger and more durable. So basically, it's the Incredible Hulk body on the real world, and in their mind, Bruce Banner is controlling everything, and the Hulk is in some room and he doesn't know what's real or what isn't. And Bruce Banner is showing him monsters and threats and all this to, or nothing, or little cute babies, to go have him go from angry to pissed the fuck off to right. And the point is, I guess what that has to do with mind, obviously it goes horribly wrong, but the whole point is that his natural state is that he gets angry and he turns into the Hulk and is out of control, right? And then in this story, he finds a way to where he is in control of that emotion. He's present, Now, he does it for all the wrong reasons, and like I said, it gets completely out of control, but I think it taps into that, because, the Hulk isn't your slave, Bruce. But I just mean, so far as the Hulk represents his anger, instead of letting the anger control him, he's fighting. Like that's the whole Incredible Hulk thing. He's fighting to control the anger so that he's being proactive instead of reactive. That's what mindfulness is. It's staying present, as you can, that you can experience your emotion without having it, without acting on it. You can actually stop and think about the actions you're going to take, rather than let your emotion just dictate your actions. So anyway, a lot of shit like that gets tackled in these comic books, and Marvel, sometimes they fall short of, all of that. Because what real discussions did Infinity War spark, other than like, oh, did he have a point or whatever? It's like, nah, but in the books they go deep, way deeper than that. It's like, but you didn't leave out of Infinity War and Endgame having no deep philosophical discussions. I mean, obviously it was entertaining as fuck, but it didn't go. Some of the stuff they touch on in the books, they ain't touching on here. And I think comic books are so niche that the government don't be trying to regulate them or whatever, because they definitely, they were for kids.
But be doing that bullshit.
Man, they get dark in that bitch, and violent. All this.